I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up the USA view. Trump administration removes LGBTQ questions from federal surveys. A new report from the Williams Institute says that hundreds of federal surveys have removed questions related to sexual orientation and gender identity. The researchers attribute the changes to executive orders presented by President Trump. The report states that many deletions were made through non-substantive change requests, meaning they lacked valid justification or supporting evidence. Only a small number followed the formal notice and comment process. Researchers found that most removals targeted gender identity questions, citing compliance with the executive order titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. Signed January 20th, 2025. The Williams Institute warns the impact could be significant for public policy and research. According to the lead author, Lauren Bouton, quote, federal data on sexual orientation and gender identity are essential for understanding LGBTQ populations in the United States. This data allows us to identify disparities in health, economics, and exposure to violence, end quote. Co-author Elana Redfield added, quote, reliable data collection is fundamental to how the federal government identifies and responds to community needs, end quote. The removals follow broader actions affecting LGBTQ visibility. Well, again, right now with the right-wing administration, it should not be a surprise, but it's a slippery slope. And we continue to see the erasure of our community, and we have to remain vigilant. We have to get out there and vote. We need to do things like Young Queer News. We need to go out and protest and, make our voices heard. But we're taxpayers, and if they're doing a survey and we're paying for it, we should be represented.
Absolutely.
Agreed. And for years, we were not represented, and we finally are being representative up to this point in history, where you've got this current administration going after not just LGBTQ recognition or showing that we exist, but they're doing this to women by taking away choice and all these other things. And, this is just it's not a surprise, like you said. It's not a shocker. This has been going on since his first term, where he wants to eliminate anything that he doesn't believe is morally right, or more importantly, doesn't bring him cash.
Well, I think we should first start with Glenn. You got to really respect the Trump's identification of the regime, not the administration. But seriously, I do want to take one quick second, because people know, as someone who's a research director in my day job with the National, I love to get into is this a good group to be doing this or that, and which group should be doing one sort of reports. The Williams Institute is a rock solid LGBTQ nonprofit think tank, just so people understand. It's based out of UCLA. I love their work. And so when they're doing a report like this, it's not only showing us an important issue, it's a group that knows what they're doing is really looking at this issue. So the fact that they report on this is wonderful, unlike some groups that think they're a think tank when they're not doing their celebrity award shows or whatever. I won't name names. But on the details of this, there's also the scariness of they're doing this without the rulemaking process, the public comments, which is normal. I'm so used to when dealing with anything about the surveys, like the task force back in the day, there was the U.S. Census adding us or not adding us. There was a whole big debate, woo-ha about this. Just doing it via fiat with executive order. And I just want to make sure that, whoever gets to be in power next, if it is anyone ever again, or if he's just going to pickle his head and rule by abstention or whatever, I want them to be making sure they're doing crazy power grabs too. You add queer stuff via fiat too, people. Don't just say, oh, we got to do a rule process and ignore queer people all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Exactly. Feel your pain and anger.
I like that you said fiat, and it's always under the guise of protecting another population. So you can't have, the internet needs to be protected from predators and kids. Women need to be protected because people are lying about biological identity. So, the name of the executive order is something Orwellian, like protecting women against biological truth. I don't know, biological truth of women and all of that. So it's always about protection, but really what it is about not protecting the LGBTQ community.
Exactly.
It's always at our expense. Yeah. And I rue the day that, justice is, served for the people in this regime. I'm using the correct terminology.
Thank you. We appreciate you for
And I
seeing.
apologize again for not using the right term.
Through the day that this regime faces judges, and actually is held accountable. Maybe they won't be held accountable for removing questions about, gender and sexuality. I get that. But for the other crimes that they commit, I pray, I'm being a little religious now maybe, but I pray that, there's somebody upstairs that's keeping score of all of this, and justice really does need to be served through the courts. So.
Karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch.
I see that. I was so wordy about it. I should have just said karma's a bitch, and those judges are going to get you.
And they best better hope that whoever prosecutes them never reads up on the Jacobins. And that is an LGBTQ story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.